We got so much news today.
Yeah, this has been such an unbelievable week. It's really, really wild. We've got, we've got the biggest deal in gaming of all time is likely not going to be beaten for a long time until, I don't know, Tencent find 200 bill down the back of the couch.
I don't know, there's been a lot of inflation.
That's, I never really factored inflation, but I think inflation,
Phil Spencer has acquired a loaf of bread for $75 billion.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Is it 7% inflation or something in the US? I don't think that's going to turn and like a little $6 billion deal into something being record breaking just yet. But it's been such an unbelievable week of just stuff. Like for games news, it's like analysts are going to have a very sleepy weekend. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
My brain's on fire.
Hey, Jeff Bell has joined as a member. Man, another Bell.
Yeah.
We are growing. Thank you.
Oh no. It's the last thing you want.
Oh, Kenneth said, why can't we have one Patreon for both news and Warcraft gaming? I want to support both, but I don't need two sets of art. Good point.
Yeah.
So, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. I am aware of this.
Yes,
and it is a massive thorn in our sides.
Yeah.
Because it does mean for everything we do, we have to log into both Patrons and mirror it, and it's a mess. Originally, the thinking there was we didn't want posts for Warcraft to be seen by the news people who probably wouldn't want it. And it was quite hard. At some stage, I probably would like to roll our own solution so you can just have an account with us and then you could maybe use a checkbox to be like, I want this content, but all that content in my feed. But that's a big technical challenge.
Yep. Turns out we have a lot of stuff we really, really, really want to do and haven't gotten around to yet.
Yeah, we've had challenges. We did make a pretty big breakthrough in Patreon pretty recently, and this is on the operational side, which patrons, I will record something to explain things to you. So, yeah, we're working on it. We're in a more of a improving and doing things right mood these days instead of I'll just, do the core work. Because it turns out you make videos all day, but there's other things to do too that are important.
Absolutely.
Right, so the first Activision Blizzard studio has sort of unioned, maybe, but also this is one of the first. Oh no, the first in AAA games.
Exactly those two categories of it is the first in North America AAA games. There is a smaller studio in North America unionized quite recently. I think it was the middle of December. Vodio Games, the unionized employees, but otherwise there's unionized employees in Europe, but it being an NA is big. Very big, considering that's where a lot of the problems are.
This is pretty major. This is pretty major. I mean, it's quite funny. I guess it is that thing. It's in the US context, which does change it all. From what I understand, it was like kind of a thing in the US where like the unions got like mega powerful, and then I think the auto industry collapsed, and there's a big fallout from that. So, Game Workers Alliance. The group called Game Workers Alliance is the first group of workers to form a unit under Activision Blizzard. Workers are asking the company to voluntarily recognize the union, which has the support of the supermajority of Raven software QA workers. 78% of the eligible workers, a rep told Polygon, and it's made of 34 members. Now, if Microsoft wants a nice free win to mark the occasion, they'll say that. But maybe they won't, because that could instantly backfire on the rest of Microsoft.
Yep.
Raven, QA, tester, Becca has said.
Yep.
In the games industry, especially Raven QA, people are passionate about their jobs, the content they're creating. They want to make sure that the passion for the workers is accurately reflected in the workplace and the content that we make. Because here's the thing. If these things are fucked up, oh man, people are having fun with her. Yeah. John's mission to make me look silly via emotes. Yeah, so here's the thing. This passion, that's all great. But you will actually have that passion run away and make more money in another industry if you fuck up that bit. So, indeed. Pretty major. And CWA has said they... we asked the management respect Raven QA workers by voluntarily recognizing... voluntary recognition is the rational way forward. Yep. Yeah, if it's voluntary, it's all so much nicer.
Yep, don't have to get the National Labour Relations Board involved.
Yeah, and there's not it's not combative.
Yep,
it's not combative.
Yeah,
right. And that's the thing. It's when it's combative, even if a union is there, but it's like, there's an internal war. Everyone's going to feel weird, and there's going to be the us'ns and them'ns. Oh, the union people and the non-union people. It's all just a big mess.
Yep.
So their principles are basically for sustainability, transparency, equity, and diversity. And of course, asking that's respected. They're voluntarily recognized.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think is like it's a really good public play. I think it's wild that they get to say it and everyone goes, "Oh no, we completely understand you and agree with you." But it's just that final point of we want to work together with leadership, blah blah blah, to develop successful and sustainable products and to support the enjoyment of our players. By being part of the company and going, "No, we disagree," then everyone's just like, well, you're the asshole because you don't want the sustainable products, which means you don't want sustainability. You wanted juices for your money, so fuck you.
Call of Duty, Internal Warfare.
Yeah.
Total credit to Chris in chat.
Good job, Chris, yeah.
Yeah, so as a reminder here, these QA staff, actually, a section of them, were striking since December. Well, they began a strike December 6th. Yep. Activision offered no communication or recourse.
Mm-hmm. It is now the 21st of January.
Yeah, and from Bloomberg, quality assurance testers are generally paid the least of any game developers and are sometimes treated as disposable. At Raven, testers are frequently asked to work overtime and have talked of going nights and weekends for months straight.
Yep, we're having people in chat that agree that QA is not a very nice place to work, and this is one of the steps to fixing that. Especially when QA, now that you're looking at games that have substantially more to them, there's so much more QA, there's so much more complexity in the systems that it's. I mean, I don't know exactly what it entails because I've never done QA for a AAA game and I wouldn't pretend to know, but you can imagine the difference between QAing Croc Legend of the Gobos on PS1 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You can imagine the difference in complexity there, the amount of things you have to check, the amount of things that can go wrong.
Dude,
it's different.
I fucking loved Croc.
Croc's a good game.
I loved Croc. Man, you get that fucking ice level.
Yeah.
Fucking ice level. Lola, thanks for joining us a member.
Yep.
Fucking Croc. Oh, we need to make a Croc Appreciation Society. But via Bloomberg. No, I've already done that. What am I on about? As for what's next then, and we're going to head over to Richard Hoag's opinion. It's great to have friggin' lawmen who are law people who are interested in gaming
at long last
and are going to share their opinions so that we can have some legally informed takes to talk about. As for what's next then, look, if Raven and Acti recognize, then they can start to negotiate how to improve their situation with legal protections. Otherwise, if they don't respond within 5 days, GWA will file with the National Labour Relations Board. So they'll just have to play hardball.
Yep.
Which will be fun, and I'm sure Microsoft will have big smiles at that. Activision's response then. They have told Bloomberg that they are carefully reviewing the request for voluntary recognition from the CWA, which seeks to organize around 36 of the company's nearly 10,000 employees.
Yeah, way to play it down,
You little and small. Now, is it really happening? Well, let's talk about Richard. So, Polygon. Raven Software QA workers unionize within Activision Blizzard. Actually, not accurate. Per the article contents, so headline, that's what it is. The union has not been recognized yet. So I guess they're an unrecognized union right now. So they are a union.
Yeah.
I guess it's a definitional thing. Maybe the legal definition of union does mean it has to be recognized. I wouldn't know. But Richard says, I would not expect such recognition to come voluntarily from ABK. But an election could be in the offing.
Yep.
So if a majority of workers want to form a union, they can select a union in one or two ways. If at least 30% sign cards or a petition saying they want one, then the National Labour Relations Board will conduct an election. If a majority of those who vote choose for a union, then the NLRB will certify the union as your representative for collective bargaining. An election is not the only way a union can be your representative. Your employer may voluntarily recognize a union based on evidence, typically signed union authorization cards that a majority of employees, want the union, and I think it was 78%.
Yep.
So, yeah. Once the union has been certified and recognized, the employer is required to bargain over your terms, the terms and conditions of your employment with your union rep. Special rules apply in the construction industry. There we go.
Yep.
As for what could go wrong, will Bobby like it? No.
No.
Will Phil like it? I mean, Phil Spencer, the guy, maybe he'll think it was great, but Phil Spencer, the gaming exec, might be thinking of why a union can be a problem if you are Microsoft. Yep. And obviously, more so for Satya Nadella, who's going to be thinking, well, if we allow this to happen in one unit of one of our business units, then, oh dear, everyone else is going to be very angry and also want to unionize. Oh no, the floodgates. And oh no, if we do it, then it will open the gate for the entire American tech industry and the American games industry. And oh no, everyone wants to kill me.
Yep.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. Oh no, all of our employees will have bargaining power. Obviously, there's ways unions can go wrong, but...
Yeah. But they don't want it.
Yep.
Now, unionization at big tech companies like Microsoft is rare because when a 38-person... How many people are we dealing with here?
34.
34. Wow. I mean, these had 4 more workers.
Yep.
So when a 38-person group of bug testers organized in 2014, the company eventually dismissed them. Is that what led to your man, what's he called, Barnacle, the tech YouTuber who was a test engineer at Microsoft?
Possibly.
So there's a thing whenever Microsoft got rid of the test engineers. And then, funny enough, the lack of test engineers was felt.
Yep.
In Windows.
Yeah.
So there you go. Activision Blizzard Studio has unionized.
Yep, which is, it's hard to get into just how important this is. But if it actually, if it goes through and it works, this is pretty big for hopefully game quality in the entirety of the AAA industry. Because I think if it goes through,
Bjorn does say, this is important clarification that you're right to bring up, Bjorn. He says, that's bull. Microsoft have unionized employees all over Europe. They live with them quite comfortably. I think it's just they don't want to throw wide the gates, as everyone's been saying in chat. They don't want to do that in America. Because it's like, if you want to do business in France, well, worker protection's super strong. But, it's like in America, the status quo is good for them in America. And while they probably, if they had to suck it up, they'd be fine. But they probably don't want to have to if it's otherwise possible. But I mean, you are right. Yeah. In Europe, absolutely. Yep. So we'll see. We'll see. I also I don't know, how many of their staff are in America or, maybe if loads of their staff in America are in locations with really, really high pay, then, it's like a disproportionate or something. Who knows? Yep. I certainly don't.
Yep. Yeah, I think a lot of people
speak a load of bullshit on the internet.
Yeah, I mean that's effectively it. It's kind of without having industry, it's really tons of industry experience. It's hard to say. Even with experience, it's hard to say what's definitely going to happen. But largely speaking, the current overall narrative is definitely that game employees, especially in QA, obviously in junior positions across the industry in North America, is really quite bad. And unions is one way to solve that problem by forcing the hand of the employer to give them better treatment, give them more time off to legally block things like overtime requests and stuff like that. I think that's one way out of it. It would be ideal if there was a way out of it that was the employers then going, wait, we don't need any external reasoning to do this because it is, in fact, an intrinsic desire to have better games because that'll be more profitable. But when they don't know that, they don't know. So
to further to Bjorn's point, the staff in America must look at the Euro staff and think, bastards, look at them in a union.
Honestly, that's one thing that I found insane from watching the anti-work subreddit and stuff. The amount of European posters who post there and go, what the fuck is going on in your country? How are any of these stories real? We have loads of all of this benefits and our countries are running perfectly fine. I'm getting paid €12 an hour to do something that you're getting paid $6 an hour for. What the hell is going on? And I think that's just a big thing where it's weird that both of them exist in the developed sort of country in the first world in a way. And then it's just some parts just don't really work all that well. But, it's a difficult thing to kind of get a full picture of across the entire world. It's very, very strange.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know people have, there's obviously issues with unions and stuff. I'm not super well read into the American history. I just, from what I understand, at least some of the opinion out there is that the unions got really, really, really powerful in the auto industry, and that ended up in this situation where the auto manufacturers just, I think was it Detroit they pulled out of, and that obviously led to issues.
Yep.